Okay, everybody, welcome back to Overdunk, your favorite competitive Pokemon Unite podcast. My name is Zoinks, joined as always by Bridget, and this time, I've said this a few times, we truly have a full house. It is our Worlds MEGASODE, our Worlds preview, the big one before the Worlds. I don't know, that's 4 titles for you, you can pick one. We have a whole lot of commentators in the business, people that are literally paid to yap to join us, which is going to be a whole lot of fun. We're not paying them for this podcast, so don't worry about that. We do have Galasaurus, Wonder Chef, Sofa, and Spraggles joining us. So quick round of introductions. Kello, how have you been, my friend?
I have been doing great. And that's about it. But no, I'm doing great. I'm really, really excited. I am so excited.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
It is excitement ramping up time. I think we talked about it on the podcast. I think a lot of us have the same consensus. We're just generally excited for Worlds, but as soon as that like group draw show happens that you did, Jake, it's just like excitement just starts going through the roof. So I'm so pumped. How about you, Wonder Chef? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm great. It's true. We always have this like kind of long break before Worlds, but it's always like the group draw show that makes it feel like it's like, oh man, we're actually like in Worlds time, and I have to like kind of be like, wait a minute, I gotta figure out what's going on now, and I still don't have an idea what's going on, but I'm very excited. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for all the predictions we're gonna make today. We need to unarchive this, okay? We need to make sure that nobody quotes me on my answers. Okay. They're all gonna be wrong.
Yeah, mostly because they'll be so different when production asks us at Worlds. It always is. My predictions here from the predictions there. See how many bases I can cover. Soph joining us as well. How you doing?
Oh, doing good. I think I'm just like super excited to the fact that we are finally having Unite at Worlds on Championship Sunday, because we had it first on LAIC. We were together there and it was so fun. But now it's the first Worlds that Unite is on Championship Sunday. So I think that's like what is just really getting me super hyped.
It's crazy to think about. I kind of forgot that this is going to be the first Worlds. That's right. Last year, a Saturday night completion. All right, Spraggles, how about you? How you doing, my friend?
Very good. I'm very excited. I also, the group draw does feel like it sort of kicks off what's about to happen. I get this really fun moment where I have more information than people for like 2 days, and I'm like really big shotting about it.
Yeah, that's true.
That always feels pretty good. But man, I'm so excited. Of course, I'm so excited to see all of you. This is going to be like a sack show, and I do think it's going to be a really good showing for a lot of the regions we cover, which is cool because last year we got absolutely dumpstered so hard. But this year I feel like looks pretty good.
That is true. That is true. Hopefully, NA better than top 16, please, please. EU had top 8, I guess that counts for them.
Yeah.
But well, we'll see.
Yeah.
This year, who knows? Might be a tough ask. Might be a tough ask. All right. Well, yeah, for those of you wondering, the general flow of this show is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to be talking all about the World Championships, the entire podcast episode. We're going to start with just some general questions, the vibes going into this event, things that we're excited for, etc., etc. And then, of course, we got all the fun predictions, our tournament winner predictions. I don't think we're going to do much on the group stage specifically, because we did that on our last podcast episode, if you want to check out that last week, and a few people in this call have made like their own group content in other spots as well, so we'll probably won't do too much. We'll talk about the groups, of course, but not full on predictions, mostly just general winners and things like the metagame, which I think is going to be really interesting, but we'll get to that conversation in just a little bit. Let's start with just a blanket. What are we most excited for? So I know you already said Championship Sunday is one of the things you are most excited for, but is there anything else in the mix that you're just like really pumped about this World Championships?
Just how things have switched up in regards to like performance. Previous year with Luminosity not doing super well, but this year them getting all of the ICs. The fact that we had now Esports in EU taking almost every single one except one win on the monthly finals, and still they didn't perform well on the ICs. When we have a championship with no Fennel, we don't have any Zora Tigers. It's like so crazy to see that we don't have these huge representatives from Japan and Korea. So my feeling is that this is just going to be so interesting because of everything that happened in the regular season leading up to this, that makes these new teams joining even more powerful than we ever saw them.
Yeah. That is true. It'll be fun to showcase some new teams. I'll shed my tears for not having our first and second team now, but we'll be excited for new talent and new exciting teams, I think, when it actually comes to the event. Spraggles, how about you? We'll go up on camera order. So what are you most excited for this upcoming event?
Well, I'm gonna hit you with a twofer right here, Zoinks. One is going to be I agree with Soph. Championship Sunday is very cool, and being in this like large venue, I think is going to be extremely exciting. This is the game. Like it's shocking that they want to put us at 4 a.m. or whatever, but this is the game to be in a
4 a.m.
large venue. No question about it. Like there's no like this is the most hype thing. I think my other thing I'm most excited for this year, I guess outside of seeing all you guys, is going to be kind of a send off to Thea Sky Ruins the way it is. We actually have kind of like a bright future ahead of Unite that we didn't have in year 3. So I'm really excited to like say that was the last time that we saw a Ray Shield the way it was. That was the last time like we saw the map the way it was, and next season will be different. So I think it'll be like a good time to enjoy all that.
Thea Sky Ruins to Thea Dry Ruins. It's going to be quite the transition. I can't wait.
All right, the dunk.
Hey, that was a Dunkhead original. That was from our YouTube comments back when we got that news. All right, Wonder Chef.
Okay.
How about you? What are you most excited for this World Championships?
First of all, can I say you should have called them Dunkaroos? I think that's much better than Dunkheads.
We can still change it. I'm not married to any kind of branding. We can change it.
Okay,
Dunkaroos might be copyrighted though.
Good call.
That's okay. All right. Well, honestly, if I'm being honest, the thing I'm most excited for is the fact it's going to be the first worlds I can drive to. Sorry to some of you, but there's a lot of traveling during the year for some of us. Sorry. No, but I'm honestly, this is one of the weirdest years. I feel like every year I say like it's the biggest question mark that we've ever had, but specifically this year, it really is. I feel like there are very few clear, obvious carryover teams from previous years where obviously there are some and they've done quite well, but there's none of the like, okay, well, these teams are probably going to be in top 2. It's pretty easy to say that there's a good chance it's going to happen. And we got a chance last year, and I feel like the course of this year to see more international teams than we ever have, and they all look amazing. So it's the same cop-out answer I give every year. It's the biggest question mark that I think we've ever seen as far as a tournament, and that's exciting to me.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. Gallo, how about you? What are you most excited for?
I'm most excited to meet Soph. This will actually be the first time we get to meet
Oh my
each other.
goodness,
I mean, I've
we
already
got
met
the
all you
whole
guys
season
before.
together as well.
That is true. You guys were the duo. That's crazy.
Yeah, so getting to cover EU together, so getting to go to Worlds together is pretty epic. I guess to see you guys again too.
I guess.
But no, honestly, I'm pretty much the same as Chef. The fact that there's just a big question mark looming there, just not really knowing what's coming. Obviously, we've had a lot of new Pokemon enter the roster since Worlds last year. So whether we're actually going to see these new additions, I'm hoping that we get to see a bunch of Alchemy out there. Whether we're going to get to see Rapidash out on the field. I'm really excited to see, what the meta shakeup is going to be. But also, I think one of the big matches that majority of people are looking forward to, especially myself, is the fact that we're going to have that run back from ACL finals with Insomnia High Five. Like,
so good.
The fact that they ended up in groups together, like day one, we are just going to have just some incredible matches, and I think that's just such a good setup for the whole weekend.
Yeah, that's gonna be a banger game. Bridget, how about you? What are you most excited for?
Mine's pretty easy. This will be my first Worlds ever, so I'm just excited to be there. happy to be there in person. It's gonna be very weird not watching it in the middle of the night.
Right.
In my apartment.
Yeah.
So normal hours will be crazy. I am just interested to see how, I don't know, different it feels, I guess, to like be there in person. So I can't really ask for more than that.
Yeah?
To be
Oh,
honest.
It's gonna be so sick. Yeah, you got your first chance to see international competition at NAIC, and now your first chance for a world championships here in Anaheim. It's gonna be so sick. Yeah, I think for me, I'm excited about a ton of it. I think Meta was already mentioned. The Arena Sunday show, I think, is gonna be exciting. I know we talked about how a 9 a.m. start time is a little crazy. However, in terms of like watch time, that's a pretty good time zone, I think, to have, right? Like morning West Coast is like prime time for EU. It's like, it's not too bad for East Coast people. It's not too early in the morning. Like Japan, it's probably good time zone, I think, right? I
You
don't
you
know.
have to stay up kind of late in Japan, but it's like past midnight. But
They'll handle it.
yeah, they got it. No
They
problem.
really enjoyed this game. So I think I don't know, maybe for streaming it could be a good a good time zone for a lot of people to tune in. I'm maybe
Yeah,
grasping
I
at
mean, when
straws,
you're
but-
in the venue, that's what you want, is for it to be good for streaming rather than it to be full of people excited about the game.
Yeah, well, my
Yeah.
glass half full of water may have been dumped on the concrete below, but that's all right. I am so stoked for that. The arena show portion, I think it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, some of these matchups are really, really fun. But yeah, biggest highlight for me for sure. Championship Sunday in an arena, gonna be unreal. I'm so excited for that. But okay, some other like general questions that we wanted to talk about a little bit. I think a few of us mentioned metagame though, which is gonna be pretty interesting headed towards this tournament. Looking back at the World Championships prior, I think the first two World Championships, in my opinion, can be defined by the teams who figured out the meta. I think Luminosity Gaming cracked the code in World Year 1 and World Year 2. And honestly, most of the teams that did really well did. The Zarina Blissey combo in World Year 1, whatever team was running that back every game was winning most games. We put it into Year 2, the really good Zacian players and teams that could figure out Lapras tended to win the world championships. SLG did, and a lot of other teams did really, really well using kind of same combos as that. Worlds Year 3 felt a little different. Like, it felt like there was still a lot of variety all the way until the top side. But maybe, like, you could argue for Blaziken being one of the most important factors of last year's World Championships. But still, it felt like there were Pokemon like, kind of contending for that role. I think there was like some Gyarados or Sarilege play that I would say, like, well, it still was a contest, I think. The end of the day, do we think that this will be a very wide open, a lot of representation? And I'm talking like at the top, like in top 8, do we see a lot of variety? Or do we think by that time in this metagame, things will get a bit more centralized? We don't all have to answer, so if anybody has like things to say on it, we'll jump in on that. But yeah, if anybody has anything, jump in right now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think you did. Oh,
Oh.
please, anybody else?
No,
was
it's
my-
okay,
that was
Jake.
it.
Go on.
Me? All right. Well, I think you did sort of nail the story of a tournament, right? Which is at first I think it feels very diverse and teams are bringing in their strategies, and then all of a sudden they all go, oh wow, we actually were
Yeah.
really discounting this Pokemon, and it's the central focus of every single game.
Mhm.
So I do think as you start to move further and further in the tournament, top 8, top 4, it's going to be more and more clear what the actual right choices are. But I love that every region feels like pretty diverse pick wise, ban wise. Like Japan doesn't seem to care about Suicune, which I think they're absolute maniacs for that. But at the
They
same
took
time, like
Suicune
they're
out and put Zarina in. Like, that is
They're
the
like-
wild shift.
it's some crazy stuff, but they're Japan. They're the champs. Like you have to follow what they're doing a bit. They're the most competitive region. So I do think a lot of that stuff is going to be really interesting. Near the end, I think it's going to feel pretty clear. However, last year, I agree with you on Blaziken. I do think last year was really the story of one team that was so much better than every other team.
Yeah.
They were so much better.
Yeah, it did feel like honestly they could have picked other Pokemon. They did maybe skill diff their way to being
But
a
they did
world
too.
champion,
They
which
like
is-
had weird
Yeah.
comps where it was
That is
like,
true.
yeah, I guess they're on this. Like, dude, they were so much better than everyone else. They were kind of pub stomping near
Yeah.
the end of that.
Yeah, they made Pikachu work. W. I think so. If you wanted to talk about this current metagame a little bit.
Yeah. So, just so before I start, I forgot to say that, of course, the first thing that I'm most excited about, if it's my first Worlds on an spectator role or a caster role. I've never been to a Pokemon Worlds before, so that's the one that I'm actually the most excited for. But going into meta, I think like there's always like this idea that, of course, when you're having the group stage and then the first part of the bracket, it's going to be much more loose, much more teams, therefore much more of those different nationalities and how they play in every region that's going to come through, like Jake said. But I think that particularly like the Asian teams, like you mentioned as well, sometimes will be the teams to have a very straightforward, this is what they're going to go for in the lower part of the rounds, and when they get up, they are just going to focus on one thing that is new, but not new to them, because they have been preparing quite a lot with that meta, with that composition. So I feel like we're going to be seeing different things from Asia that just feel like very solidified and very well crafted. At the same time, I also feel like going into top 8, the teams that were doing more variety, they're going to stick to the same bands, they're going to stick to the same picks, and I don't think they're going to be bringing that much from the West. So I think Asia is going to be a little bit more diverse in that regard.
Okay, gotcha. So you keep a little bit of diversity, but even the diverse teams, when the rubber meets the road, if you will, in the top end of the bracket, start to lock down, pick some of the more similar stuff. I think that makes sense. And yeah, well, I mean, when you find something that's working in a tournament with teams as good as this, I think that's not a bad call at all. Bridget, Kello, Chef, any thoughts on if we're going to see a really diverse metagame or a little bit more straightforward one?
I'm curious to know what this year's Mamoswine is going to be. Mamoswine was something that popped up in the World Championships last year unexpectedly. It didn't receive any buffs or anything like that. So I guess given the current meta and given the latest patches that we've had, what's a Pokemon that's just going to suddenly shine and I just be a good counter to those that are currently ruling the meta. So that's my big thing is, well, who's going to be Mamoswine this year? I know defenders at the moment are looking quite good.
Yeah, better than
in the meta,
NAIC
like,
for
they
sure.
seem to
Like
be-
they
yeah,
were looking rough, so this is good.
the top role. Even though we didn't exactly have the defense penetration back at Worlds. Obviously we saw that whole meta and everything, but yeah, this just seems to be that defender meta all over again. But I feel like we're getting a good mix as well because it's because of the defender meta. It's allowing those ranged attackers to shine as well, which last year I felt like it was a very brawly upfront, very melee based composition. So I think we're actually going to see a good mixture of Pokemon and roles being played there.
Yeah, I think the successful teams for sure were very melee focused, right? It feels like we maybe are moving into a more poke centric meta right now, but if you look at some of the Eastern teams, I think they might actually disagree. So we'll see what actually happens come the World event. But Kello, you just brought it up. Do you have a Pokemon in mind that you think might be the Mamoswine of this tournament? Maybe not like it's everywhere meta defining, but just like a surprise pick that will turn out to be really, really strong this tournament.
Honestly, I have no idea.
All right, fair enough. Has anybody read the tea leaves in this call? Does anybody have the call?
I have a Goodra.
Oh, okay. Goodra having an impact. Now,
All right.
so
Goodra
here's my
buff,
question:
so-
Goodra tank or Goodra top laner? Just Raggles, don't look at me
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like one of those questions. But go ahead, Soph. What do you think? Is it gonna be a top laner?
No, definitely a defender.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
What do you think? Slide into that jungle slot, Soph?
Well, I mean,
How
we've
about
seen
that?
What do
Overlord.
the Dunkheads think about
Right?
jungle Goodra?
Right, I mean,
Lutano's done
we
it
did.
before.
Yeah, no, we've had it.
done it before.
Both Lutano and Overlord have played like offensive Gudras before in tournament, right? In
Yeah.
UCS tournaments. So
They
it's
have.
not
Mhm.
impossible that we'll see it. I'm not saying it's going to be good or work. I'm just saying if we've seen it before,
Yeah.
there's
Nouns Esports got
somewhere.
knocked out of a tournament by a top lane Goodra, you know, like at Worlds in Yokohama. So it happens.
Oh my
But-
god! Why would
It
you
would
bring
be
that
it would
up?
be really cool. It would be really cool, and I'm just poking fun. It honestly would be extremely exciting if
It would be
something
fun.
like that happened. I think it's really unlikely, but
Yeah.
it would be cool.
Okay,
sure.
but Jake, while you got the mic here, who is going to be your Mamoswine of the tournament? The surprising pick, maybe not the best win rate, maybe not the best pick rate, but something that is a shock and does well. The fun combo.
Yeah, that's like always the tough thing because I think a lot of things are on people's radar. I think
Mhm.
Ho-Oh, Rapidash, obviously Latios isn't going to make it through mini games, right? I think that's going to be like completely taken
Yeah.
out. Same thing with Char. Like we have a lot of very clear bans
Mm.
moving forward, I feel like. I think Suicune is going to be amazing with teams like are able to pick that up. I think it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
I think some teams could still get a lot of value out of Armarouge. I think Armarouge
Yeah.
could be really, really solid.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
with like a little more poke, you could see those kind of cracked Absol players have a real weekend too.
Oh, yeah. That Pokemon does feel pretty evergreen. You know, it falls off the radar all
Yeah.
the time for basically
It's
no
true.
reason. It's like, oh yeah, when they play it, they're unreal at that Pokemon. I'll throw
Yeah.
my 2 cents in. I've been saying this for a while. This is a bold prediction. I think back in EUIC I made towards Worlds. I think Meowscarada players are starting to come out of the woodwork. I think this could be, if we go even just a degree or two towards a poke style composition, speedsters, just their stocks immediately skyrocket. Maybe we see some great Meowscarada players. I think it's a Pokemon like Zoroark and Pokemon like it, where it is a very skill intensive Pokemon, and top level Worlds players haven't unlocked that like top tier play quite yet. I think we're starting to get to that point now with a few players, and they're going to be at this event. So that's gonna be mine. Anybody else got a surprise pick that will also be good?
I have a bad one.
Perfect. All right,
Oh,
Chef's
wait, now I
Chef's
wanna
bad
hear
one,
that.
and then Bridget's good one.
Okay. Mine. This
What
is
if we
not
have
like
the same
a.
one?
Oh, I don't think we have the same one.
Okay.
But that would be surprising if we did. Okay, this is not like a soul read or anything like that. This
Okay.
is just like based on the few times we've seen it over the past several months.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna see a decent showing from Duraludon, is my guess.
Yo,
We're gonna
Okay.
not a ton of games, not a ton of games,
Right.
but when I think it's gonna show up, and I think it's gonna be like, okay, that worked, because that's what just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. I don't really fully understand it still, but it's like I just can't deny that that's a possibility anymore.
that's fair.
Version 1's time to shine with the
Perfect.
Dura pick.
I think at bare minimum we see it. I don't know how much we see it, but I do think we see it. All right, Bridget, how about you?
I don't even know if mine will be too surprising, I guess, but
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Darkrai.
Oh,
I
think
think
that'd be surprising.
Darkrai is kind of a sleeper.
Ha.
Good pun.
Yeah. I mean,
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Like, even as like I've been hearing rumblings that it's good as a supporter. I don't know. I don't know how good or if it'll be relevant, but I feel like maybe we'll see some fun Darkrai gaming. At
That'd be
least I hope
sick.
so.
I think it could be good.
I think
Logan,
you're
I
right.
was
It's
loving
like
support
it,
Darkrai.
it shuts certain comps down. It
Mhm.
like it's single target, like it all guarantees a KO in a lot of fights. And it's been one of those Pokemon that's been sort of on the edge of competitive for a while, but being run by a lot
True.
of top teams, they just don't slot it in often. It's like when there's the perfect moment, kind of like how Darkrai plays, it strikes and is really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's interesting.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. I try to think of the right meta that Darkrai does well into, right? If we're into a more tanky meta game, Darkrai picking up a defender into its Unite move doesn't feel great. It often doesn't even win that 1v1 eventually, right? It just sort of
Yeah.
times out.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, so if we're seeing more defenders, the ult gets riskier. Hopefully you find a backline Pokemon, but it's not always. It's interesting. It is an interesting Pokemon. Where that Pokemon does well in, though, by the way, with Dark Pulse in Electrode Volleyball, incredibly good. Darkrai, Dark Pulse, Electrode Volleyball, absolute god tier defender Pokemon. So, yeah, if you're looking for the strats, try out Dark Pulse Darkrai. I think it's optimal. It's not Lucario good, but it's good.
Snorlax is a strat.
Snorlax is a very
Snore.
good strat as well. Yes, but Dark Pulse avoids Snorlax block, so it's like game within a game.
I
Um,
see.
Okay, Kello, I think we went full around the circle. I know originally you said you weren't sure,
Mhm.
but now that we've all said ours, is there a Pokemon that has come to mind since then?
The A presses.
Okay.
So the Greninjas and the Cinderaces. And potentially Razorleaf Decidueye. I reckon
Whoa.
that's if
I love that build.
Alcremie doesn't land
is
itself a lot of
crazy.
bans.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just feel like
I
our
certainly
Creme
wouldn't be
Decorate
banning it.
just makes So, yeah, okay. I guess it depends on. Well, if you think about it, I feel like we're gonna see a lot of Ho-Oh bans
Yep.
coming forward, Charizard, whatever else. So if Alchemy does end up slipping on through, I think that's where those A presses are really gonna shine.
Oof. Okay. I like that a lot. Razorleaf Decidueye would be sweet. Big EU enjoyer. Notable from Kello. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Razorleaf Decidueye would be sweet. Okay, now I'm so curious. Just a general question anybody can answer. Out of the 3 that you just mentioned of the A pressers, we have Cinderace, Greninja, and Decidueye. Which one do we think does the best at this tournament? Could Cinder have a tournament? Could it be
Cinderace.
World's Year 1
No.
again?
No, I
Mm,
think
He got
I
nerfed.
think
He got nerfed.
That is
no.
I think
Oh,
Yeah.
Desi.
Greninja there. Oh, but I don't know. Razorleaf Decidueye.
Oh, Chris.
I love
think
Desi.
Okay, I'm gonna
it
go
might be
Razorleaf Decidueye
Shackle,
just
right?
to be completely
Yeah.
random. I'm like Chef. Just ignore everything I say here today, okay, please?
Yeah, we're gonna delete this
More
pod.
theory crafting.
We made it
I mean,
clear
we-
we're
we
not
kind of
paid
have
for
a-
this one.
Well, we have like a question mark situation where the last time that we saw EU in official tournaments, they were just like, yeah, just run every match with this Decidueye, every single one. It's so good. And then no other regions ran it. And so I have no idea if they're right or not, or if it was just a thing that was happening in the region.
Mhm.
So there is the possibility that EU's like, actually, it really is good, and none of you knew it, and they just start running over people with which we're gonna call Snipe Shot Decidueye over and over at Worlds, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
But
let's hope
it's
that
not
doesn't happen.
Snipe Shot. It's Razorleaf, okay?
Of course.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
Snipe Shot
Yeah.
anyway because it's
Decidueye.
Spirit Shackle. Spirit Shackle.
It's Stealth Rock
but-
Decidueye,
that
and
one.
that's final.
Stealth Rock Decidueye.
Uh,
All right, yeah, I'm about that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, great transition though, Wonder Chef. You brought up questions, and this is kind of the final general question I have because you mentioned in one of your favorite things to look forward to, this Worlds can be a big question mark. So I'm gonna have 2 questions here back to back, but let's start with the first one. I think the majority of us are going to put Luminosity Gaming as likely the favorite to win. Even if it's not your personal pick to win, I think like the Vegas odds would be best in favor of LG. They have won 3 international championships. They've done very well this year. I think that is likely going to be it. However, I personally have had a hard time picking who I think the number 2 best team in the tournament is. I am curious on our vibes on that. I'm not asking you to pick a tournament winner or a runner-up quite yet. All I'm asking for is like going into this based off power, your own personal power rankings or whatever. What team would you slot in as the second strongest team headed into the World Championships? Chef, do you have a vibe on any of the teams yet?
Oh, you weren't supposed to ask me first. I
He was giving you the face.
I know. If you can't tell, I have the groups over on my other monitor. I'm like staring at it. I'm trying to look at every single team. I'm like, oh, come on.
There's no Brave Burgers. I
something,
can't pick Brave
look
Burgers
good.
to sweep.
I know. I was thinking about that. Literally, I was like thinking about that before this show. I was like, crap, I can't make the joke.
This
I'll
sucks.
say, yeah, I know. I'll say, honestly, as far as consistency over forever, I'll say High Five. I think
Okay,
I think High
yeah.
Five is a pretty
Okay.
pretty solid pick.
Very
Hard
good
to hate me for.
Yeah, perfect. That's always what we're trying to do.
But yeah, that's how
Um,
I usually make decisions.
Perfect. So, how about you? Like, again, you're not picking this team to get second or even first. You're just saying they look so strong going into this event.
Mm. So I as I was saying, like with the powerhouse that Asia is, I am kind of feeling either High Five or Insomnia. I'm going for the ACL combo there.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Those 2 squads, I like it a lot. Kello, how about you?
I think it's just a blanket here. I feel like it's going to be Japan.
Okay.
Insomnia, Zeta, either one of those, I guess. Insomnia, we haven't really seen them since ACL, so I'm not really sure. And they were really great at ACL and so much fun to watch. And,
Mhm.
you know, they're the team that I feel like is probably one of the most innovative teams that we have seen this season. So, yeah, Insomnia. But then I know Zeta Division are also just so good as well. So it's really tricky. But
Yeah.
I'll go Insomnia.
Okay, sounds good. We're vouching for Insomnia. I like that. How about you, Bridget?
Um, I do feel like Zeta division specifically, I am perceiving as very good. I know they didn't win. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Bias back there. Zoinks, I see you. I was trying to read it before and
They
I was
got
like,
great
I
merch.
don't know what the
I
heck
don't know what to
that
tell you.
says. Yeah, I know they didn't win Japan quals, but I feel like everyone kind of rates them as the best team in Japan. I won't ever soon forget like Kabi-chan's at EUIC. I just kind of feel like they have some good momentum going into Worlds, so I'm excited for Zeta.
Cool. I like that. Spraggles?
Yeah, I happen to agree. I think Zeta is like the team to watch outside of Luminosity, but I'm really hoping that Nouns has a showing here at
Whoa.
Worlds. They're like they're a
Nice.
great team, but they
Mhm.
seem to like not show up internationally. It's like weird. You can see that they're good enough to do it, and they
Mhm.
don't show up. Another one that I really think is a phenomenal team that just like almost like plays against themselves is Orange Juicers. I actually think Orange Juicers is probably like a top like 5 team in the world at times.
Yeah, for
At
sure.
times. I think they're
I
that good.
agree.
But then at other times they're truly like they are their own worst enemy. So I hope a great Nouns and a great Juicer show up because they have it in them to do well for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
Zeta is like Zeta's the best team in Japan. No, in my opinion, no question. Zeta is actually the best team out of Japan for sure.
Well, okay,
Ditto.
despite my Zeta banner, I have Birch from the other one I'm picking. I'm going reject. I have my thumb cover. From...
You kidding me?
Not the reject
Let's
thumb
go!
cover.
Wonder
No.
Chef also
goodness!
has them. Let's go! All right, I'm picking reject
not
as one of the
planned, that's
strongest. Not for nothing, they get to play LG very, very early in the group stage. That'll be kind of sick. I'll be able to get a
True.
strong read on what this tournament is going to look like by how well those two teams perform, I think. We'll be like, all right, good to know. And then they don't play each other in the bracket at all until potentially finals. Because we're getting
Is
it
that
reseeded.
how it would work?
Yes, I would be shocked if you ever played against your second seed until the championships of the final bracket.
I thought it was A against
Mhm.
B, and then C against D, and then on and on and on, which would lead me to believe you will run into them one time before Grands through a single elim. I could be totally wrong about that.
I'll send you my projected. we can take a look at it. But again,
send me the projected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get you my projected for sure. Okay, fair enough. So those are who we thinking is the second place teams. The final question I had going into before we get into like our rapid fire predictions and things like that, was gonna be just sort of what is a question that we want answered by this tournament? I know it sounds like a riddle that I'm proposing
Ooh.
for the podcast, but what is a question going in? If that question could be, what is the best Pokemon in the game right now? What is the best region in the game right now? My question that I kind of want answered headed into this tournament, and it's going to be, is Luminosity Gaming the best Pokemon Unite team to ever exist? That's the question I really want answered. Because they have won the World Championships twice, which has defined them already, but with how good Fennel was last year, I actually think there are question marks around that fact. And they could not have set themselves up better for LG going into this Worlds this year to truly put a capstone on a GOAT conversation, potentially for this game's lifetime. So that is my question surrounding this tournament. Does anybody have one in mind? I know it's a really big random question that people might need time to prep for. So if anyone has one in mind, feel free to jump right in.
I was gonna say, will the hosting country ever win Worlds?
We got 5 teams, Bridget. We got 5 teams.
I know.
Yes, true.
We are stacking the numbers as much as we can.
Yes. Okay, I like that question a lot. That's a fun one. Good shot. Kello, do you have one in mind?
I think I'm going to lean back into the region that I ended up covering for the season, EU. Is it going to be EU's time to shine.
Said
Obviously,
finally
we
EU's
ended up
time.
having them reaching top 8 last year, but I mean, it wasn't Worlds, the first Worlds where,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that was Nouns and Blackhand where it was they came second.
Mhm.
So, it's is it EU's chance for a comeback here? Can
Ooh.
can they try and meet second again? That's the best that they've, been so far at Worlds, but then all the following years, they obviously just fell short. So
Okay.
can we at least see Nouns get into beyond top 8? I think is the goal there.
Okay. Yeah, is
Okay.
EU back? I like that a lot. How about you, Wonder Chef? Any question in mind?
I guess my big question is for some of the regions who aren't getting the teams that they expected
Ooh,
over
yeah.
the course of the season, because I do feel like we had more than a few cases of that this time around. I mean,
Korea.
lots of roster shifts or yeah, super interesting stuff like that. I'm curious as to how these teams that from regions that we expected to do well, but not the teams that we expected to do well, are going to do. That's my big question.
Okay, I like that. Also, shout out to Dexter in our chat saying one of the casters always lies, the other one always tells the truth, and that is exactly my vibe going into this podcast. Soph, do you have a question in mind that you want answered from this tournament?
Yes, it's actually a more like specific question, if that
Okay.
is okay.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
So, what I'm thinking is, of course, my eyes on Brazil always.
Mhm.
Group G, Group H, literally having 4 Steam used to be Tuzi, used to be Chris do Jake, etc.
Right.
You know how that story goes. Yeah, so they're in the same group as High Five and Insomnia. Then in Group H, you have Aegis Flames, the second team in Brazil, with Onyx Rise and Zeta Division. My question is, are we even gonna see them on day 2?
That's a tough ask. It's
It's really tough. I know.
I was
But,
watching I was watching Spreggles and Slash's coverage, your guys' talk on the group stage, and Slash said it, right? Like, Brazil has probably, as a region, the hardest group draw by far
Yes,
Mhm.
they
at
do.
Worlds.
Absolutely
I mean,
do.
oof. Like, that is such
Yeah.
a tough draw. Oh, man. Well, hey, a question we'll have answered even on day 1, so good choice of question.
Yeah.
Spreggles, how about you?
I mean, for me, outside of some of the stuff we've already talked about, I am also wondering about Brazil because I truly think they have the toughest road ahead of them.
Mhm.
Do we get to see a real showing out of India? Because I think that would be very
Ooh.
cool. They've had some cool international success and also some big international failures, right? I mean,
Sure.
they got absolutely walloped year 1, but then they were insane at ACL, like making this run that was unbelievable. Then they show up to ACL this year, and it feels like they're just not ready for this level of competition. So I don't know. I really hope we get to see a cool showing out of India, a region with like so much excitement and so many players that are like really behind the game and these teams. So I hope we get to see a really cool run out of them. We
Yeah.
haven't yet, so it would be great if they had a good Worlds.
Mm-hmm. They're in a tough group. Probably like one of the hardest to predict. I think we were all agreeing on like
Yeah.
socials and stuff. Group E is crazy. SAUL, Santos Laguna, QT Dig, and You Need Coaching.
Yep.
So QT
Hard
Dig, third team
group,
from,
yeah.
but Japan. You Need Coaching, third team, but from NA. So two incredibly strong. And Santos Laguna is like debut of a lot of rookie LATAM players like Anisus and folks, but also like crazy good experienced players like Kira are like on that team. So that's such a strong group. It's crazy, but yeah. Anyway, we'll see. Good questions, all of you. Let's talk about meta just very quickly before we get into predictions. We've all talked about a few Pokemon that we think we're going to see. A lot of bands going to centralize around a few of the defender picks, but also like attackers rising up. I had a question, just a general group question, anybody can respond, about supports. I think for the last almost every international championship this year, I think we've actually seen a case where supports who are not pocket supports are doing better. We've had Confei pop up here and there in some grand finals because LG's been showing up in a lot of grand finals, but we have, for the most part, I've had things like Psyduck do extremely well, support variants of like Mew. There was a lot of talk about support Galarian Rapidash before the ban, prior to NAIC. Things like that have been doing so well. I feel like it's almost a full heel turn on that role headed to this tournament. I'm expecting healing and pocket supports to go crazy this tournament. Am I off base? Does anybody agree with me? Does anybody disagree? What are we thinking?
It's tough. It's really tough, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I think that's kind of the story of this whole season. If I just choose like one meta story, it's
Yeah.
the switch in supports, right? Which literally started, I feel, at the end of last Worlds, where I was like, hold on a minute, we got to figure out how that worked out. And then now all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're all using Mew supports, and now we're all using just non-healing supports, and there's zero healer teams become almost the norm. And
Right.
that's when we've had the biggest meta shift I think maybe we've ever had. And then now we've actually had, more powerful supports being introduced to the game, whether it be Psyduck, who's still not a healer, or it's like Alcremie, who is a healer. So actually, if I had one question to go back one, whole
Sure.
phase, it would be like, what is the support choice going to be? And I really don't have an answer. I think we're probably going to see a mix of both, and I think it's probably going to be really regional, would have to be my guess. Some of the regions seem like they're using a little bit more pure healing now, and some of them seem like they're still in that full-on aggression. So we'll see which region does what.
Yeah, I think Japan still has Clefable at like 120% pick rate or something. I don't know. It's crazy. Every
I
tournament.
was just thinking they have such a soft spot for Clef, and it's kind of cute, but
Yeah.
not sure how it will hold up.
Is it cute
I
and
think they're
scary
right.
or just cute?
I
We'll
think
see.
Clefable is really good. Like I think the West
Mhm.
actually sleeps on that Pokemon pretty hard, but every
Agree.
region wants to fight differently, right?
That's true.
The best team out of the West, like I feel like the West right now, we really care about like tempo and controlling the start of the game. And if we're winning that, we're winning the entire game.
Mhm.
So they don't really care as much like if they can soft boil like they want to be 2 levels higher on their carry.
Yeah.
And if they're going to support it, they're going to support it with disruption, more damage, or even like if it's Blissey, it's safeguard, right? They just want the ability to go in there and carry even harder. So I feel like that's going to be really interesting. It's a real question as to, can any team keep up with a tempo team long enough for a healing support to matter? Because if you're not keeping up, like Clefable's Moonlight healing like 300, like who cares? They're going to
Right.
burst you for 3,000.
Uh-huh.
So you really have to be able to keep up with that. It's a great question. I don't know if like healing support is going to be it. It feels to me
Really?
it feels
Okay.
like probably not. But who
Wow.
knows?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I'm of
Except
the
for
other opinion,
Alchemy. Except for Alchemy. That would be the only one.
but- Really? Okay. More than
Yeah.
Blissey?
Yeah, well, Blissey would be not healing in my opinion. It would be
Oh.
safeguard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I guess maybe I put that in the category of pocket supports a little bit still, even if it is safeguard. Like, would you consider like Dazzling Gleam Alcremie to be a pocket support, or is that like a more
You know what?
like
I think I'm
defender
probably I think I'm probably thinking too much of healing. You're right, because I think like a pocket support could be very powerful. I
Mhm.
think healing is going to be not that relevant.
Okay,
But
yeah. No, I think
yeah.
I think we can agree on that for sure.
Mhm.
It'll be wild. How about you,
But
Soph?
anyway, this interview is over.
All right.
No more questions.
Yeah. I feel like that's a great point. The fact that some supporters can still do disruption, yeah, but if you have a pocket that can do more of a utility than a healing, I think that matters more right now. And it's
Mhm.
not because the heals are not good, but in regards to like, although I feel like the meta and the patch feels nice and balanced, I don't feel like there's anything like this is completely broken. No, I feel like it's good. I like where we are right now. And the problem to me is because everything is good, it feels like the healing is underwhelming. Like you said with Clefable, the Moonlight is going to be like just pops of healing and just waiting for it, or people just having to aim that dollop if you are going to go for Alcremie with the heals. But personally, I think that pairs out much better with the Decorate and the Dazzling Gleam when you have just something just like the Safeguard where you can just enable more. And maybe in the future, they could fix that by giving a little more healing to these healing Pokemon. I don't know.
Yeah, they could. That
I
does feel
think
like a bit
one
of a
of the biggest
Pandora's box,
factors-
to be fair. But we'll see.
Yeah, careful.
Yeah. How about you, Keller?
I was going to say, I think one of the biggest factors in terms of the whole healing meta is the fact that it's easily counterable with item builds. So
Sure.
that is where you'll have multiple Curse Incense, Curse Bangle on the opposite team if they see a Clefable, because obviously if they're running Clefable, they're going to be running Moonlight. Nobody's running Draining Kiss out here.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's just such a good counter into Clefable, but at least say with a Blissey and an Alchemy, yes, they do both have those healing type builds, but depending on how the opposing team ends up answering back, there's a little bit more flexibility going into that game where, okay, hey, they've got this. It looks like we're going to have to switch the kit and go for more of that supportive. So yeah, your safeguards and your not your decorates, your what's the one with the shield? Is it
Decorate.
I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah, you got it.
remember. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Okay, it is
decorate, yeah.
decorate. Never mind.
Yeah. And in
Come
that same
coming
vein,
out.
of
So there's a
course,
little
like
bit more flexibility. Yeah.
And in that same vein, like Pokemon that are a different role than support, but do still have EXP share, right? Like the Muse we've seen before and stuff. Okay. I'm being convinced. I'm being convinced away from healers. Bridget, are you gonna bring me back into the healer vibe I was on a moment ago, or are we sticking with what's been good all year? I guess the safe bet, if we're gonna call it honestly. But
Yeah, I feel like can definitely be draft dependent. I'm very interested now with all of like the tanks being pretty buffed up to levels we haven't seen them at in quite a while. I'm not sure if that will impact either way, obviously, but I could see it like switching up a little from what it has been, just with tanks being more viable in general. And I just feel like less teams maybe going for a Psyduck over
yeah.
a Ho-Oh.
Yeah, that
So.
seems really good. Okay, fair enough.
One thing that's I think probably not a hot take is the better that the tanky Pokemon are in a meta, the better that Hoopa is with Hyperspace Hole, because you just have more time to get back in. And I feel like that Pokemon is always in the meta no matter what. And sometimes people pretend like it's not going to be, and then it ends up with like a 75% win rate at a major. So Hoopa I still expect will be there. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
as much as the developers hate Trick Phantom Force, Hoopa will still be there. Like they will do everything they can to remove that move set from play, but Hoopa will persist. It's crazy. All right, well, I think at this point we're starting to talk a lot about specifics, about specific Pokemon and everything. Let's just jump into our round of predictions. Let's talk about. We'll do our Pokemon predictions first, since that's kind of the subject we're on, anyways. So let's start. We'll make these a little more rapid fire round. Let's start with the most picked Pokemon at the tournament. Reminder, this is going to be a Pokemon that will likely dodge a lot of bans, but is still picked a absolute ton. Chef, you answered that last question, so why don't you jump in? The most picked Pokemon at Worlds.
Stop asking me first. I was literally gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna see what everybody else answers. Most picked Pokemon at Worlds. I know, so evil. I think. I don't know if this is. Dang, this is really, really hard. I know this is supposed to be rapid fire. Past bans. Ooh. It's really tough.
If you need to.
Yes, please go first, because
the
tough thing for me is that every region is different, so I have to think about it. You go first.
That is true. But
agree. I'm just gonna go with a generally great tank, which is Snorlax. I feel like Snorlax is generally great. It's hard to ban, and it's hard to not, like, if you get it, you're like, that's pretty good. I think Snorlax could make it through for a lot of games.
Okay, love that. So
I'm going with the Gyarados in this one.
Gyarados.
I feel like it's not like insanely good. I don't think it's like insanely good where it's gonna get banned all the time. But I feel like this last patch change to Flail is gonna allow it more easier top lane in the Magikarp phase. So I feel like that could be still something that could be picked and be successful in the end of the game.
Like that. I love big fish. Big one. Okay. How about you?
Oh, see, I was thinking the Snorlax route as well.
You can
but
go
then I remembered that it
Snorlax.
ended
There's
up-
too many of us to
No,
try to
no, it
avoid
ended up-
repeats.
It ended up getting. Well, it got nerfed and buffed, right? So
Right.
obviously the
Yeah.
defense and
A
special
burf,
defense
if you
went
will.
up, but then. Sorry, what?
A
Excuse you.
burf, if you will.
Ignore him. Just keep going. You can just.
We're
like, act
taking
like
down
he's
this
not
VOD
talking.
anyway.
I'm
Shut
gonna
up and
go
don't
with.
kiss.
I'm actually just gonna go completely off field here, and I feel like it hasn't even been mentioned, but Slowbro. I feel like Slowbro is so underutilized. And you know, maybe the extra boost that it's ended up getting the latest patch, maybe we'll end up seeing the return of Slowbro.
Okay, big bro. I like it. All right, Chef, are you feeling ready now?
No.
right.
But I will say I will answer.
You, Chef.
Thank you, thank you. No, this really is really difficult. The more Pokemon we get, the harder questions like this are, and we're at a lot of
Sure.
Pokemon. I'm gonna
That's
say
true.
maybe. Is it crazy? Tell me if it's crazy to say Psyduck.
No, not crazy
I
at
feel
all.
like it's right below the
I think
bands,
it's kind
and
of. I think it's kind of crazy. I got to be honest. I don't.
You
I
think
don't
it's
even
crazy?
know if we
Wow.
see- I think it. I think they actually nerfed that thing really hard. But we'll
you
see.
think it's.
We'll see.
I know. I think it's possible. I just think it's right below some of the other bands of like support picks right now that we might end up seeing. I'm not really sure how every region's gonna adapt to supports, but
Okay.
I think it might still be right there. I don't know. Who knows? I could be totally wrong.
I'm picking Snorlax. Bridget, how about you?
I'm
I picked Snorlax, I picked
actually. Yeah, that's messed up. It's like a soft rule. It's kind of like frowned upon, but it's fine, I guess.
No, my co-host
I
makes
am
the
good-
rules. That's not good.
I said a soft rule. It's like a social norm. Anyway, I am gonna say Hoopa.
Okay, cool. I think that makes sense. The Hoopa, strong picker. All right, well, Bridget, right back to you. Most banned Pokemon at this tournament.
Okay. I am not sure about Latios, but I think in its current state, it is just like far too annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I could see teams maybe being able to adapt to it, but I feel like off rip, no one's gonna maybe want to deal with this. So I'm gonna say Latios.
Latios. I like it. I won't go chef. I will say Ho-Oh is my pick for most banned Pokemon. Kella.
I have no idea if it's been confirmed yet, but is Latios going to be playable?
Latios
know
will be
Latios
Latios will
won't
be
be.
playable.
Yes.
Latios will not be playable. at
Okay,
the tournament.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My most banned Ho-Oh.
Oh, Spriggles.
I'll say something different for the sake of it. I do think this could be a big ban. Is Charizard?
Charizard. I like it.
Nice.
Soph.
I'm going Ho-Oh as well.
All right, and Wonder Chef.
Wow. I think I'm gonna go Latios as well. Somebody else prefers Latios, right? Yeah, I
Mhm,
think
yeah.
so. It's just it's one of those things too where it's so new that I feel like
Yeah.
you don't want to have to be like, did we figure it out or did we
Yeah.
not figure it out? And it's scary.
Yeah, I just feel like I know the stacks I'm sure are harder to get. Maybe kind of easier, I guess, depending how you look at it in
In a
a
comp-
5-stack. But man, that like the stored power esque thing shenanigans, it's so annoying.
It's Glaceon's whole moveset in one button. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
And I already can't stand that Pokemon. So, best win rate Pokemon at the tournament. Of course, this is going to have to have a minimum of 10 games played, but best win rate on the tournament. In episodes past, we've done these preview episodes. Usually, people who pick Pokemon that LG plays do very well in this category. Bridget, who's going to be your Pokemon for best win rate Pokemon?
Ooh, okay. This one's I feel for some reason this one I'm feeling like is the hardest of all.
It is a little bit.
But I am maybe gonna I want to say Serena. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Nope, that's a
but
great
Fun
vouch.
choice.
That's a
I'm
great
going with
choice.
that.
Okay, I'm also going a little bit of an offbeat choice. So this is my hot take. I'm gonna say Urshifu. That's my choice.
Ooh,
I think
way
Urshifu.
to be wrong there, buddy.
Hey,
Darn.
I didn't say Tyranitar.
That's right. He didn't go with Gengar this time.
That's big for him.
All right, Sprinkles, your choice. Best win rate Pokemon.
I agree with you on Urshifu. No, I think the Zarina pick is actually super fun because it's like it's either you play it or you don't, right? I think that's super smart. I think Suicune is a monster. If you give it to a team, you're making a huge mistake. That's what I think. Suicune is going to dominate it when it gets through.
Yeah. My only concern with Suicune win rate is I think everyone is going to play Suicune, which means half the time it makes it through, it might lose. So that's why I'm concerned. Is I think like some teams that are weaker at this World Championships will also pick it. That's my only doubt. But all right, Soph, what is your best win rate?
I think you're right. I probably am wrong there, but I don't want to admit it.
You don't have
I'm
to.
thinking.
I won't.
I'm going for Blaziken for my best win rate there.
Okay, that's a good choice. Very similar in the Zarina line of thinking, I think, with Blaziken.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chef, how about you?
I need more time. No, I'm just kidding. I almost wanted to say
That's up to you.
Suicune as well, but I also don't know if Suicune's gonna get banned. Suicune was almost my most banned pick, so I'm gonna go Mew. I think Mew historically has
Ooh.
ridiculously high win rates when you have the best of the best players,
Mhm.
and only the best of the best end up picking it in tournaments like this. So really, if we go back to like all of the ICs and like to ACL and stuff like that, Mew always has a pretty dang high win rate. It's just not picked that many times,
Yeah.
but I think it's in a good spot as well right now. So.
Okay, I liked it a lot. One of our predictions, we were going to talk about a tournament meta warping Pokemon. We already kind of talked about that in our surprise picks. Kyle was talking about like what the Mamoswine would be of this tournament. I think we already discussed that a little bit. So let's get into our predictions on teams. This is really what we're here for.
Yeah, I
Let's
didn't
talk
get to do
about
mine.
what? Oh,
Wow.
I'm sorry, I got lost in the
Wow.
sauce. I'm so sorry.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's
Rewind.
embarrassing
Cool guy's
for
blank right
you.
now. He's got a goatee or something. He does this to people now. I can't.
We are deleting this VOD. This is good. Okay,
We actually
Hello,
are.
Hello. What Pokemon is going to have the best win rate in this tournament?
I'm gonna go another all-rounder pick, and I'm gonna go Ceruledge.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Like Ceruledge.
I think the fun choice about that too, it's kind of like Zarina, because if you play it, they're actually really good with it, but it's not super well like played. You know, like LATAM loves it. Like there are a few regions that love it.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Big.
Oh,
I
continue, Zoe. Sorry about that.
no, you're okay.
No, get him.
Yeah, no, that's very justified. Please, for the culture. Okay, so. But we got our most picked, we got our most banned, we got our best win rates. Let's talk about who's actually winning this whole darn thing. Let's do our tournament winners. Wonder Chef, do you have a team in mind that you think is going to win the whole tournament?
That's really funny. Which me first. I think I'm gonna go with high five again as well. I'm a really big believer in APAC in general as a region. So if it's not them, I think it's time for APAC to actually win at Worlds. They've been the most consistent region. Pretty. I think it's like pretty set in stone that they've been the most consistent region over the last like every single year. They need to take one, and they can do it for sure.
Okay, I like it. High five vouch. Do you have an MVP player on that team, or no?
No, I don't think I do. I mean, they're all really good.
Yeah. Honestly, a strong
And
five.
also the MVP for me, yeah, it depends on like kind of how the meta goes, because a lot of times it's like, oh, we're in defender meta, defender's MVP, or it's like the attacker meta, oh, attacker's MVP. So I don't really.
Terrific. Cool Jordan chat saying they're relying on our predictions here for their in-game predictions as well, which we didn't talk about too much, but kind of cool that the esports event is back in-game and Unite. That's kind of fun, but we are, of course, we can't be held liable for your selections. If you get the selection, the HoloWare selection box or not, it's not on us. It's the property of something. Okay, I don't know how to do disclaimers. Bridget, your turn.
That was good.
Chef does.
I will stick with. Oh, I said Zeta would be second.
You said
I'm
they
just
were
gonna go
power
with
ranked. You said they were power ranked second. You can still pick them as your tournament winner. The second best team at the tournament could win the tournament.
You're so right. I'm just gonna go with LG.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm gonna be drinking the Kool-Aid. So
Cool.
will be in
MVP
on
player on LG.
ooh. I'm gonna say trainer. I think it's
Yes,
time
correct.
for trainer to.
Why are you reading my brain? Stop reading my brain.
Yes.
Because he's so good. Okay.
I know.
All right, Sprinkles, you responded to that. I'm assuming you have a similar selection for your tournament winner and MVP?
For me, it's Noun. No, I love Nouns, but I do not think Nouns will beat LG.
Cool.
I believe I would love to see Nouns win, and I would love to see Ender take a trophy, because I think that would be one of the most hyped things of all time. And like that whole team, like, could you imagine? Like, that would be so fun. I think LG is almost unbeatable right now, and since I can't say trainer, I will say Slash, because I do think he is almost unparalleled in some of his picks. They're like truly next level.
Yeah, I think like Snorlax, probably one of the strongest contenders for World's Best Lax, and Lapras? He didn't even play it when they won Worlds, though, you know? It's tricky.
He didn't, but he might now. Lapras is so gross right now.
But he
it's
taught
disgusting.
Rin, you know? He passed his information on. Okay, Kello, how about you? Your picks.
I'm gonna go LG as well.
Uh-huh.
So, I would. Well, can I still go trainer?
Yeah, of
Is it
course.
okay to copy home?
There are no
Even though it was in
rules.
my brain. Yeah. So LG and trainer as MVP.
Okay, I like it a lot. Soph, how about you? Tournament winner and then the MVP player on that squad.
Gosh. I think, as I said, my second place was to Insomnia, and if it is a grand finals with them and Luminosity, I still think the Luminosity takes the edge here.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, unfortunately, because I really root for Insomnia, I am a huge fan of Abuyan, so
Okay.
that happens. But still, Luminosity is my pick for champions, and yeah, gotta say trainer, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. Okay. I'm torn between a couple of teams for my actual pick to win because obviously the strongest team is not always going to lock it up, but considering their group, I'm you know what? Fine. I'm just going with LG as well. I was thinking about Zeta and Vidopo, and maybe even Rom.
I
They're both so
know.
incredible. But I'm going to give it up to LG this year, and I think my MVP. That's so funny. Someone in chat just said, "How is no one saying Overlord?" I am gonna give the MVP to Overlord.
Okay,
It happens
what?
too
Someone
often.
did.
I think I'm just
Real
gonna
spicy pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna maybe take the middle of the road path. How about as narrow of I can? Yeah, we're gonna be going with Overlord MVP, LG champion. It's written in the stars. You can't beat fate sometimes, and I think that's kind of what the scenario we're looking at. Okay, everybody, let's go through a quick round of Dark Horse teams. This is a team I always quantify Dark Horse as a team that you think could make top 4 probably at this World Championships. And then maybe is like I pick that people wouldn't expect. Doesn't have to be though. But a top 4 team that you think people are sleeping on a little bit here for Dark Horse team. Bridget, do you got one in mind?
Oh gosh. I sure do.
Uh-huh.
Man, I am looking at groups and gosh, someone out of Group E is gonna be my dark horse. I'm just trying to decide who.
Okay.
But I think Santos Laguna. I know that is maybe
Brain.
super wild. Callo and I are just like soul linked right now, I think. You need to let her go first next time.
Fair.
But I just think they are. I actually like a lot of the teams out of LATAM North, but I'm probably the most hype on Santos, so I am gonna go with them. I just am always a little bit low-key rooting for LATAM North, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I sell the LATAM North stocks pretty hard every time. I'm always like, please, guys.
I
Okay.
know.
Kello, you were saying the same thing? Santos Laguna?
Look, I'm gonna go something different. Okay, I was going to go that, but you know we're gonna mix it up. We have to have variety here. Okay, so my whole storyline for how it's going to go is High Five is going to be Insomnia day 1,
Okay.
but then Insomnia are gonna make the run back day 2. Right?
The
And
download.
High Five, I still feel like are going to be expected to make it to top 4. So
Okay.
High Five.
Cool. I like that a lot. Chef, you got one in mind?
Yeah, I feel bad that we're talking about NA so much because I really think all the regions are so good right now. But I'm gonna say you need coaching. They are a team that has this like incredible "we have nothing to lose" energy that I think is the most dangerous thing that any team could possibly have in Worlds. With players that like it's not like they're going to be overly nervous going into Worlds. Like they've had that energy in all of their qualifiers. The Worlds they could just hold on to that energy. I mean, obviously they want to win Worlds, but also it's kind of like they're like, oh, like a month ago or 2 months ago, like we didn't even like exist. Like we didn't even know that we were gonna be at Worlds. So whatever, let's just play our best. You know, it's some of the best players that we've ever seen. So they're terrifying to me, and I'm really excited to see how they do decide to play at Worlds.
Ooh, I like that a lot. Spraggles, you got one?
I feel like a lot of NA talk, but I'm gonna keep it going. I do think
Okay.
juicers are often overlooked. They are a team that can beat LG. There aren't a lot of teams that can beat LG. The juicers can beat LG. So when you talk about, you know, the second best team or something winning, well, I don't know if they'd be considered the second best, third best, or whatever it would be. But if you have a read on the best team in the world and you can knock them out, you have a chance to win this entire thing. As long as they can get past their arch rivals, if they go up against Peru,
It's over.
I am going to freaking lose it. I want to see that match so dang bad.
Yeah.
What, dude? If they beat Peru,
Evil.
here's my prediction. If they beat Peru, they win Worlds. That's what I think.
Yeah.
If they beat Peru in day 2 and move forward, they can win the World Championships. But it's like they have to go up against that final boss in order to actually be able to move forward.
Yeah.
The
And
rest of it's just like post-game content. It's New Game Plus.
Yeah.
After they take out Peru.
Exactly. It'll be a wild ride because, of course, it will be the end of times. So who knows how the rest of the World Championship will end up happening. All right. So how about you, Dark Horse Team?
It's gonna be as mentioned here, but not on the exact role like Jake said. It's Peru for me.
Okay. Peru.
So Peru is not gonna be just a stone in that place. I think Peru really gonna show some very strong Unite, and they usually perform so well. We know that previously when they were a fusion, they always got like very close to the top, like the top 3, and just doing pretty well. So I think that they're gonna maintain as the same steady, if not even better. We'll see.
Yeah.
Standing placement in this one.
Yeah, but no, Peru is so good. I am gonna bring things back. We talked a lot about Western teams. I think
2 seconds, be right back.
all right, sounds good. I think my Dark Horse team that I'm gonna give a vouch to, Loki. I think Kakalak is gonna have some spice behind him. I know as an APAC team, it's kind of wild because this team has like so many different like different iterations under this banner. However, they got a few of those Bariram players who absolutely crushed it in the ACL in their team's league. So I do think they'll be strong. Yeah, Dark, don't worry. I do think LATAM North can be really, really strong. But we'll see how it plays out. But I think Kakalak will be like a really strong team to watch out for. Is there any other predictions that we need to get to? I don't know. We're going through not maybe as rapid as we were thinking. Onigrice isn't a dark horse though, Dextra. They're just good.
Yeah.
Okay, some of these
third
we listed
place.
are not dark horses, but
True, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think Kakalak counts
Most
though.
of them were.
I think Kakalak counts.
Okay, see, I think that's the problem with a lot of the APAC teams is none of them are like really dark horses. Like nobody thinks that any of the APAC teams basically. Hold on, I gotta look at all of them.
Yeah,
Like
just in
every
case.
APAC team has made top 8 at Worlds, right? Hasn't every single one of them? Am I wrong on that?
Onyx
is
didn't
maybe
do
the only outsider. But yeah, to be a one of out of like what
Yeah.
if you're gonna combine APAC, then like a 7 or 8 team region. So yeah, it's pretty good
Right.
odds.
Yeah,
feel
so
like I'm
it's
being
hard to say that.
insulted
Really.
by my answer now. Here goes something else. I actually have to go Dark Horse.
No, don't let it influence you. It's okay. We went with heart, and heart matters the most. But yeah, I think that'll bring us to the end of our
Talon
predictions.
Invincible.
No, wait, what you're gonna do Talon as your dark horse?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I like that. Someone needed to vouch for Talon. Talon,
I know.
by
I
the
don't
way,
feel like we've like talked about all of like. I'm like, yeah. No,
there's
Onyx
so
Rise
many
is kind of
teams, yeah, we haven't
crazy.
gotten the
I
chance to
know.
talk about. Specifically, Talon not doing super well in Slash's recent power rankings, either player or group predictions, by the way. I was pretty shocked. But yeah, we'll see. But hey, that meant Komai vibes going up even higher, so I'm here for it. As a person who's sit on this podcast for the last couple episodes, I'm a little more EU pilled than I ever have been before going into this tournament. So yeah, we'll see how things end up. But
That's
already,
really saying something.
I know, seriously, after
You're
the last
very
couple of years.
EU-pilled.
It's truly a different world. But okay, I think that brings us to the end of that phase of the podcast. I don't know if there's a whole lot more to talk about, so I think we're gonna start wrapping things up. We'll get Jake's final words before he gets back here. A very fun time to swing this segment in. But before we get out of here, thank you so much to all of our many guests we had on this episode. Most of the commentators, obviously, Deucenex and Danley will also be working the event with the majority of us here. They could not make it to the podcast, but that's okay. We still love them, and maybe we'll get their predictions at some point over for us. Who knows? I'm sure during the show we will at some point. But before we get out of here, I'm just going to quick round of anybody to, if you want to go follow these people who joined us on this wonderful night, if you want to follow them, those kind of things. So everybody, it's your time to sell out, shout out, and if you have anything to plug, do it now. Kella, we'll start with you.
Kellosaurus. That's it.
Everywhere.
Kelsaurus or Kelsaurus TTV on everything else. That is a Twitch.
Perfect. Yes, go follow Kelosaurus on literally everything. How about you, Wonder Chef?
I thought I was gonna have to talk really slow so we could wait for Spraggles to get back. But
Nice.
yeah.
Saved.
We finished the podcast without you, so we're saying goodbye. But yeah, you guys can follow me everywhere on Wonder Chef Cooks, and that's it.
Perfect. Spraggles, where can people find you on the internet? And if you got anything to plug, do it now.
I do. Tomorrow I'm in Twitch Rivals. I'm playing
right.
Tony Hawk.
Ooh, it's so sick.
Gonna lose
I
that pretty
forgot.
hard. And
Nuh-uh.
I'm
I saw you
excited.
practicing. You look sick.
I am practicing. Here's what's going on. Okay. If people are bad to moderate, I actually have a shot.
Okay.
True.
If people are good at all, I'm so done. Like I have no chance.
Well,
But
historically,
bad or
Twitch
moderate,
Rivals-
I can win. Yeah. Twitch Rivals is a lot of people who are bad to moderate.
Right.
So as long
Yeah.
as people are on that level, I am also moderate. I'm mid.
Okay.
And if everyone else is mid, boy, I can compete. Give me some mid opponents, dude, because I'm ready for them.
Yes. There, and of course, when we all start stacking up when we're in Anaheim, we were looking for mid opponents, so please queue up. So, how about you? Anything to plug, shout out, anything like that?
So you can find me at Surfchan Casts on every social media. I've been very present on Instagram and TikTok to post, not just gaming stuff, but also music and K-pop stuff. So I love bringing those two worlds together. And recently been doing some partnership posts with Unite as well. So
Sweet.
keep an eye out for that.
Ooh, check it out. Bridget, how about you? Anything to plug?
I am gonna help cast Underdunk
go.
on Thursday. This is Overdunk.
Yes.
So in case anyone was confused, I wouldn't be, but that'll be fun. That'll be on Kyle's channel on Thursday.
Yeah. Tell Kyle I keep reaching out to him about combining our fan bases to call them all dunkheads because
I'll push it.
Yeah, cross platform. Keep those up. So
Yeah.
in terms of sellout
Perfect.
stuff, I will be on the Worlds preview show happening on Friday, where we talk about just a bunch of exciting stuff about the World Championships. It's always really fun for Worlds specifically, because we get to talk about a lot of different teams, but they also show off all the cool merch that's gonna be there, which I always find really exciting. So you can take a look at the cool plushies and things like that. But other than that, yeah. I also have been on TikTok recently. If you want to follow me at TikTok, at Zoinkscast, I've been posting a little bit more. If you have cool Unite edits, I often will repost them. So people who put Unite clips to epic music, I'm back in my like 2010 gamer videos on YouTube to Linkin Park era. So that's kind of what I'm trying to curate my timeline to. So if you post that kind of content, reach out.
It's very much that like Decidueye arrow into like KO of like it
Yes.
starts with one thing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we go.
Yeah, let's go.
and the lyrics are on the
God.
screen. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
sick.
They are.
Perfect.
I'm gonna make that video right now.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then in terms of the podcast, this will be our Big Worlds pre-episode. Obviously, like we said, we will most likely have another episode next week that will be a little more less competitively focused, depending on how you look at it. At the moment, it'll be Bridget, Relic, and I, maybe another person, and we are going to be doing a fantasy draft of Pokemon Unite players for the World Championships. I still have to make the system and make it happen, but we will be doing that next week on Tuesday before World Championships, so look forward to that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Other than that, we'll see y'all next time. If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know what you think the strongest team at the World Championships is going to be. Until next time, goodbye, Duckheads. See you later.